Heads up, comedy fans, this is gonna be a weird one. Because today we talk about the time that Mark Normand was SA'd as a child. Of all my videos, this one will likely feature my sultry voice the least, as it's not really that needed. Mark, and moreover, the story itself, tells itself. Because when Mark went on the Harland Highway, a podcast hosted by Harland Williams, he pretty much told the whole story. It started off between two riffers just a riffing away, but what it resulted in, I don't think either comic expected.
Hardy Harlan.
How about the tigers of the Indian jungles?
Whoa.
Yeah, anything there?
Well, that's the weird thing. We got tigers. You talk about blackened alligator. They got white tiger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They're very rare.
Yeah.
But they're always on time. And yeah, I don't know much about the Indian tigers are different than the African tigers, which are different than the Japanese tigers. And then there's the LSU tigers.
Yeah, right,
and
right.
Detroit as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, I like a cougar myself.
You do? How old?
I lost my virginity to a 55-year-old.
No way.
I was 16.
What senior's home was it?
Well, she died during COVID.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So this was 2 years ago? Wow. How old are you, Billy?
No, I was 16, so apparently I'm a survivor. That's what people tell me, but it was the best night of my life.
Best night of your life.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Right now?
No, when you got scorched.
16.
16.
Yeah, she was a reptile. Holy shit. She had some leathery skin. And
you were a reptile.
Yeah, I was.
Really? She had leathery, like that Australian been out in the sun too long skin?
Yes, like an old catcher's mitt. She had that weird neck flab,
Oh,
you know?
no. Something to grab onto while she's riding you, though.
Yes, gobble, gobble.
Holy dimwit.
Trigger warning, I guess. This one gets weird, but I haven't seen it shared or covered on any of my contemporaries, and Mark mentions that he's never told the story before, so I feel compelled to share it with you.
Wait, so I want to hear. See, I love that. I want to hear the story of this seduction. How did this all transpire that a 16-year-old Jimmy Johns gets rolled through the oats by Granny Grumble Lips?
Well, I met this old bag on Bourbon Street, and it was Y2K.
So she had lube? Wow. Your first one and you got pegged.
Yeah.
Wait. That woo sounded like you actually fell off of a roller coaster. Woo!
So wait, what the hell?
Tell me the story. I love this. Our fans are gonna love this.
Yeah, you had me pegged all wrong, but
no, she did.
Peg Bundy, but
Peg Bumdy.
Peg Bumpy. She had herpes.
They're trying to keep it light, but watch how this develops.
But it was Y2K, so it was 1999. It was the day before Y2K, so there was a buzz in the air, and I was on Bourbon Street with a couple friends. She was on a balcony flashing everybody.
Okay.
And she had her old weird tits, and I looked up, and I said, "Hey, lady," and I think she had a thing for young guys.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
Yeah, she came down, and I said, "I don't want to go into 2000 a virgin." She said, "Well, I won't let you," and that was it.
And what? You went up, where'd you do it?
Well, that's the weird part. We went up to her hotel room in the Ramada Hotel, room 239. I'll never forget.
Wow.
She opened the door, and there's an old guy with a white beard and a Harley Davidson hat and a leather jacket sitting in a chair staring at the door. So I was like, I'm gonna die. This is it.
He was in the room.
I think it was her pimp or husband or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, so he was there when the deed happened?
Well, I had two friends with me. He took them out on the balcony, closed the doors, and they had a couple of beers out there. Well, I plowed his old wife.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, old Yeller. I gave her
a screamer.
Yeah, I gave her rabies.
Wait a minute. So was there any like form of seduction or foreplay, or did she just kind of go, "Let's go"? Was it like just aggressive immediately, or was there any sort of like,
no,
"Whoops, Billy, I spilled some grape juice on your pants. Let me rub that off for you"? Like, was there any type of penthouse forum opening? Like,
it was more of a rape juice, but
good God, Garfield.
Speaking of lasagna, I hate Mondays, but great president too.
Yeah.
But so I was in the room and I was so nervous. I had a jacket on, a sweater, a button-down, jeans, and she goes, "Why don't you get more comfortable?" So I took off the jacket.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "How do you want to do this?" And I didn't know anything, so I go, "Well, I'll take a blowjob first because I've seen movies."
Yeah.
And she goes, "I don't give blowjobs." And I was like, "You bang kids off the street, but you don't get blowjobs?" And she was like, "You want to do this or not?" I was like, "All right, sorry."
She got aggressive?
Yeah, so I was blowing it immediately.
You were blowing her?
No, I was ruining the night.
Oh, you were stepping on her like technique or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
As you can tell, this is a strange one. Mark was 16, and in Louisiana, the age of consent is 17, just for the record. Now, please hit like and subscribe buttons because I feel like I'm probably on a list somewhere for having to Google that. But I won't spoil anything. Let's let Mark tell it.
Okay, so what happened from there?
So then she said, "You have a condom?" I said, "Sure." Like every 16-year-old, I had a condom in my wallet from like the Reagan era. And
you're 16 and you owned a condo?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, dude, why'd you need her? Go back to your own place.
That's a good point.
Sorry, I stepped on that one with a bad condo joke.
I like it. I always put condiments on my hot dog. But so then she saw my condom. She said, "Get that out of here." She opened a drawer. She had lube, condoms, butt plugs, dildos, vibrators, whips.
What?
And I was like, "Oh boy, I'm in for it here."
What?
Over my head.
As a first timer, because you lost your virginity to this one, right?
Yeah.
Weren't you kind of intimidated and scared by she had a toolbox of treasures?
That's what I called her, puss. But I was terrified. Yeah, I was freaking out. But I was like, hey, this is pre-internet. You just live, damn it.
Yeah.
So I just I flew by the seat of my foreskin, and
wow.
She put a condom on me, and that was that.
And how long did it last?
It lasted a while because I was a young whippersnapper, and that's what I called her, clam, and snapper. And I think she had the husband, or he can't get it up. He was old, and I think she wanted a young buck to really, have some stamina.
So how long is how long? Like you said, a while. What was it, like 20 minutes, an hour?
I'd say it was an hour, but it was off and on. It was, we'd bang, then we'd rest, and then we'd talk about she was in the Civil War, she was talking about the old days, and then went back at it.
Wow, bro.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Now, we've all had some crazy times in our lives, I'm sure. But think back to when you were 16. Now, think about Mark Norman's sense of humor and his need to be perpetually distracted. Things start to make a lot of sense when you factor all this in. And before you comment, yes, I hear that a lot of this is buried in jokes and the like, but the story itself, the body language, and the history Mark is exhibiting, I fully believe is real. But he makes a happy ending of it, so let's just go with that, I guess.
That's amazing. And did your buddies out on the balcony get a crack at it, or was it just you?
Well, right after I finished, I felt this wave of shame. Like, what am I doing? I'm with a weird hooker lady. She's old.
Yeah.
I'm a child. I have a boner. And I open the doors to the balcony, and my friends fall in because they're shit-faced now. Because he was getting them drunk out there with a cooler on the balcony. And they go, I got sloppy seconds. And then I pulled them all out. I was like, we got to get out of here.
You were like, this is my girl. Screw you guys. Fuck off. You're not touching my girl.
No. Good song. But
thanks.
So, we got the hell out of there. But I was the king of high school for a week.
Well, you told everyone?
Oh, what are you kidding? I was Ferris Bueller.
I thought you just said you felt shame.
I did, but, the next day, once people start gassing you up, they're like, hey, that was killer. You banged that old broad.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So you were like the guy on campus that pegged old women.
Well, no, I no pegging.
Well, I mean, like the nailed, like I meant like
plowed.
Yeah, plowed, power slam.
Yeah, so now
Thunder greased.
I got a thing for MILFs.
Are you cereal?
Oh, yeah, I love cereal.
Wow.
Snap, crackle, and
peg. Snap, crackle, peg.
That's all I've got for you today, y'all. You all. Please like and I guess subscribe so you don't miss my other... It feels wrong to phrase it this way this time, but hot takes. Anyway, I've been Critical Leaks, and in the meantime, be nice.